everyone? I hope you guys are doing fantastic today. How you doing, Andrew?
I'm doing fantastic today.
Good. Because I hope you're doing fantastic as well. Just like all of our
your hopes came true.
Okay, my hopes came true. This is the Wrench Everyday podcast, where we talk about wrenching and car culture and cars and go off topic and talk about everything in between. That's basic. That covers everything, like in the universe.
Yep.
Cars and also not cars.
Yeah.
Yes. So my name is Tavarish, and you may know me as Freddie Hernandez. So that should be reversed. But I decided to go with it just in case some of you know me as Tavarish and think that's actually what my name is. Your name is Finn Gergens, but you may know you as Andrew Howell.
This intro is going really well.
This intro is, first of all, as far as intros go, this is one of the best. Okay, that's what people say about this intro. Okay, that's what people are saying in the comments. Comment down below if this is one of the best intros. Just say this is the best.
This is the intro that's going to get us a Webby.
That's right. What is exactly a Webby? Is that
like
what goes between your fingers when you have a
it's like
defect?
It's like an Emmy for internet.
Oh, it's an internet Emmy. Okay. So I wanted to do a little bit of housekeeping before we get into any of the hot car talk.
Okay.
And this is something that we've mentioned before, but we are changing the name of our podcast.
We're going to name it Jeff.
We're going to name it Jeff, and we're going to name it that weird...
Geoff.
Yeah, because it has to confuse just enough people. It's like, what's Geoff? What's Geoff?
Jeff.
Jeff. Yes. Why would you spell it like that? Why can't it be Jeff?
So we're renaming the podcast to Car Guys Talk.
Yes, because we are two car guys and we talk. The reason why is because Wrench Every Day, we want that to be its own thing, and that's going to confuse people because this doesn't actually have anything to do with wrenching, even though we talk about it. Wrenching is going to be more for a DIY channel we're going to start later on, but we're also going to have a Car Guys Watch, which is not a watch podcast. It's not going to be a watch. That's more Matt Farah's watch and listening. This is going to be a movie review channel. So we're going to watch car movies from a car guy's perspective, and there are going to be bad car movies.
Real bad.
So if you guys have any suggestions as to what we need to watch, then you can let us know in the comments, or you can email us, or all that stuff is going to be in the description below. But next week, this is not going to be the Wrench Everyday podcast. Wrench Everyday podcast is going to be no more as of next week. It's going to be just Car Guys Talk.
It'll still be the same podcast, just different name.
It's going to be a completely different podcast.
We have same great flavor.
Way different. Way different. We are going, first of all, Andrew, I'm going to fire Andrew, and we're going to replace him with okay. So we're going to replace you with some outsourced Indian counterparts that also can do the finger guns, and then we'll see where we go, because this is honestly, this podcast is kind of running me dry. You know, it's not really, the ROI on this ain't the great, especially.
Who's Roy?
Oh my God. You know what just happened? One of my headphones just kind of went on the fritz. Like this side just died completely.
Or you went completely deaf in that ear because you were having issues with that ear.
I might have gotten completely deaf in that ear, but I don't think that's the case. I think I'm going to have to screw with the... There we go.
We're doing it live, guys. We're doing this live.
There we go. Okay. All right. Now we're good. Now we're good. We are good today. Right? Wait. This is not good. It's going in and out. In and out like the burger. Okay. Come on.
Maybe check the actual headphone plug, not the jack.
No, it's this.
Oh.
No, okay. I think I got it.
I have
nobody move a muscle.
Okay.
Okay, now we're good. Its vision is based on movement. Okay, let's get back on track with talking about cars.
Can I move?
Yeah, you can move.
Okay.
Yeah, you can move. Oh, not that much. Whoa,
boy.
don't go crazy there.
Oh boy.
Don't go crazy there. All right. So I wanted to talk a little bit about the car I'm working on, which is the just the best. It's
Is that Volkswagen Beetle convertible out there?
yes, it's a Volkswagen Beetle that has been converted to somewhat of a running state with lots of things wrong with it and lots of expensive things wrong with it.
Yes.
So this is, well, obviously I'm talking about my Lamborghini Gallardo. And just today I installed a new radio, or is it still called a radio? Can we, what should we call it now? I mean, it is 2018.
Head unit.
Head unit. But if I say head unit, do people know what that is?
Infotainment center.
That's not a good name. Infotainment.
Entertain from
I am entertained by this information here. Yes. Infotainment. That sounds like lots of synergy is going along. And, yes, it's very good for brand recognition to have an infotainment system with lots of icons and brand things. So I got a radio. It's a good one. It's a good one. And it's from the country that knows how to make good things, and it knows how to make quality things. That country is China.
China.
China. And I mean, there wasn't a lot of metal in there because the price was pretty good, and we don't have that. That would have been tariffed out the wazoo. But I got this not from my contacts at Seacane. But I got it from another nondescript seller of these radios. So these radios are made from like a company, just like a central company. I think they're called Joying or something. Just like a very Chinese name. Joying! It's not even enjoying or...
It's joying.
Joying, yeah.
It is the act of joy.
Super Joying #1. Yeah.
Oh,
Is it? No, I mean, is it really? Is it really? Am I about to have my show taken off of the air? So this head unit, stereo, radio,
Sure.
infotainment. I was in talks with Seacane, Seacane being the distributor that got me the SL55 radio. That was the Android 7.1 unit. That worked really well and looked stock and all that stuff. They got me that radio, and then they said, we'd love to work with you because your video did really, really well and all this stuff, and they talked it up, and I said, great, I have a Lamborghini, and I need a radio. And they were like, we don't have anything for Lamborghini. And I said, well, okay, you actually do. You have a Audi unit, and the Lamborghini uses an Audi unit stock. So you just have a unit that replaces that unit. So send me the Audi one, and I'll be good. And they said, well, we don't have any unit that goes to the Lamborghini. And I go, but I just told you that you have an Audi, like the Lamborghini uses the Audi unit. All the wiring is exactly the same. You have that unit. I know what I'm talking about. Just send me the radio. And they said, but we don't have anything that goes to the Lamborghini. I'm like, oh, okay, all right. So, can we have a baseline here? Like, this is why I think I've talked to you about this before. There should be a little card that everybody should, that some people should have on their person. It could be a digital ID thing, and it should just be a card that says, "I am not an idiot. I know what I'm talking about." But it should be vetted. It's not just like something that you can buy. There has to be a vetting process by whatever standards. It can be a peer thing. It doesn't have to be necessarily a government thing or whatever. But it could be just like a section of your peers that say, I am not an idiot. I can sometimes make mistakes, but I will assume the mistakes on my behalf, right?
Yeah.
You can have this little card, and then you can just give it to people. And you say, don't worry, I'm not a bad person.
I'm licensed.
Yeah, I'm licensed. I understand what I'm talking about. That would have done really well in this situation because I'm like, can we just have a baseline here that I'm not a complete idiot? And if you look at my videos, I'm rebuilding this car. Like I know what radio goes in this car. and they're trying to say, okay, can you send us a picture of what the stock radio looks like? I'm like, I can't send you a picture of what the stock radio looks like because I didn't get the car with the stock radio. So I sent them a picture of a Gallardo with the stock radio. I said, this is the radio that's replacing. Send me a radio like this. And they said, okay, but we don't know if that's gonna work. And I'm like, I know. Okay, so let me do it, and let me do it. I'll if I screw up, I'll screw up. It's fine. It's not a problem. So they said, oh, okay, we'll send it to you. But can you just confirm with us that that's the radio you want? I said, yes, I confirm that's the radio I want. And they said, okay, we'll send it to you. Oh, actually, we're not going to send it to you because that is out of stock. Funny. Okay, it's kind of funny because on the website it says it's in stock. It's, you don't have anything sold out. There's other things that are sold out. This one wasn't sold out. And I'm like, okay, so how about this other one that is very similar? Has a different part number, but it's very similar. It has the same wiring harness and everything. They said, oh, that one's out of stock too. So at this point, I'm sensing a little bit of a little pattern here.
A little mistrust.
A little bit of a, they think that I'm an idiot. Okay. Now, while that may be true, I don't want people to just go and think that. It's like in a Batman, the animated series episode. I remember this and I will use it till the day I die. It's such a good line. It's like, you can think I'm stupid. Just don't talk to me like I'm stupid. And I love that line. It's like, listen, you can think I'm stupid all you want. Just don't talk to me like that's the case. So what
an oddly specific and really 90s reference that was.
It's weird because those are the things that float around in my brain.
You know what? I'm proud of you.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much. It's the first time anybody's ever said that.
I love you, son.
Oh, huh? Dad? Okay, Dad. Boy. So what I decided to do, I said, you know what? Screw this. I don't want to give C-Kane my money. And I just went to another website called carnaviplayer.com.
So it went from C-Kane to C-Kaint.
C-Kaint. That's right. You can't. There ain't no C-Kane, it's C-Kaint.
They said yesn't. To which I responded, C-Kaint.
Oh God. Well, there's a joke that I heard. It has nothing to do with anything we're talking about, but is that it shouldn't be called a vagina. It should be called a penisant. That's so stupid. I can't. Oh God. So in any case,
we've made it 60 episodes and we finally made a sex joke.
That's it's not even a sex joke. It's more of a linguistics joke.
It is.
It has nothing to do with anything. But okay. So
hopefully YouTube doesn't say yesn't to that.
And what are they going to do? They're going to demonetize a non-monetized channel?
It'll be monetizant.
Oh God. So I went to carnaviplayer.com and they actually did, surprise, surprise, have a unit for a Lamborghini Gallardo. And they said, this will fit your Gallardo. It's that same Audi unit, same part number and everything. But they said you'll have to do some trimming around the edges, which I already knew. Sure. I was going to have to trim down. Like it's weird because there is a Lamborghini part number for that radio, but the radio itself it's just like a trim piece or something. You know, it's like an added extra trim piece, and that's the way Lamborghini can charge, because they go, oh well, this is a Lamborghini only thing, even though it's all Audi. So they just said you have to trim down this little trim piece, and it's super easy. And I bought it. I think it was like $399, and it went from Hong Kong to my house in 3 days. So, right? Like I usually when you buy stuff on eBay or you buy stuff on Amazon or you buy stuff anywhere from that part of the world, it takes a little while just because you have customs clearance, you have a lot of things.
It's also coming from the other side of the planet.
Yes, the other side of the Earth, of terra firma, and 3 days it was here. Great condition, all that stuff. I mean, obviously it's new, but it wasn't beat up or nothing.
Right.
And I installed it today. The video is coming out. Well, at the time of recording, the video is going to come out tomorrow. And well, I removed so much in terms of wiring from that car. It wasn't even funny. I'm guessing this was a good 20 pounds of wires.
Wow.
It was insane. There was so much in that car. There were 2 amplifiers. One was a 4-channel amp and one was a 1-channel amp for a subwoofer that does not exist on that car. There's no there's no sub in that car. I don't know where you can put one, and I definitely don't know where they put one and where they took it out of. So so who knows where that went? So I took those out. I took all the wiring out. I took lots of RCAs, lots of little panels and whatever. I took all that stuff out. And surprise, surprise, the car was wired improperly.
Go figure.
Go figure.
The rest of it was just perfect.
It was, yeah. I mean, the car had no complaints at all. I didn't have to rebuild the entire car in every single instance. So the what a mess. So it turns out there are 2 identical plugs on that car. So this is hot wiring talk right now. But there are 2 identical plugs on that car. They're really big plugs, and they go into the.
Girl, I love me some big plugs.
Oh, I like big plugs, and
Yes.
I cannot lie.
Yes, Zaddy, keep going. What else was there? With
So
wires?
the 2 identical plugs had they're like big plugs, and there's little plugs inside those plugs. So
oh my god,
this is
plugception.
you're about to have to change your pants here. So actually, let me make it a little bit colder because it's getting a little type hot, especially with this plug talk. I found out that one of the plugs was just incorrectly installed on, like, since they're 2 identical ones, one wire was basically crossed, and instead of the previous owner fixing that by just putting literally putting one plug where it should be, they ran a separate power, ground, and switch 12 volt that you need for the radio.
Wow.
So it was like just running wires to like the battery instead of just putting things the way they should be. So I was like, why isn't the radio turning on? And I'm like, this wiring harness doesn't make a lot of sense. I mean, like there's stuff, it's like plugs are going into themselves. I'm like, that don't look right. That don't look right very, very much. So I just I put everything like it was. The radio started up, and you saw how the radio started up.
It's awesome. It comes with a Lamborghini logo and everything.
Right? Yeah. Like you start it up,
Looks
Lamborghini
totally
logo
factory.
What's not totally factory is there's 3 Chinese albums of like Chinese hard bass. It's Chinese hard bass. Yeah. Yes. 50% 50%. Yes. So
It has an internal memory.
yes.
How many?
I think there's like somewhere like 10 gigs of storage, but it also has an SD card slot.
Wow.
So SD card slot, it has Wi-Fi, GPS. It can do DVR. You can record both front and rear cameras.
Wow.
Yeah, so if you want to do a track day, you can do that. It also, you can put a torque app on there, so you can have OBD2 readout, just like I have on my SL55.
Yep.
That's going to do good things on this Lamborghini, I think, so I can keep track of a lot of stuff.
Okay, here's the thing. I have been wanting to upgrade from the My Touch 2 system in my Focus.
Okay.
And I've been wanting an Android-based screen because the one in there is just garbage. It's really unresponsive.
Yeah.
It's not that good.
Right.
So I think what was the website again?
Well, I mean, listen, you can get these anywhere. I'm not going to say one specific website. CKane, you can get a discount if you use the I think Tavarish or Tavarish 15 or I don't know. Honestly, I don't know if I'd work with them, but there's a little bit of a caveat here. They are Chinese companies. They are kind of a fly-by-night operation, even though it's like one company, one factory, and there's like a bunch of suppliers. So if you're looking at stuff like warranties or quality control, might not be the best thing. But for the price, I mean, if you're looking at like a Kenwood unit, or a Kenwood or a Pioneer or whatever, that has all the functionality. You have, Android Auto. It's basically like a tablet. You can, you have a web browser. It's very responsive as well. I think this one has Android 7.1. They have Android 8.0 units, and it's all up to date stuff. You can do over the air updates. Very, very cool stuff. I paid $400 for mine, and with shipping, I think shipping was like $15. Air freight, from Hong Kong to my house in 3 days. I have no idea how that works. Maybe that's it's China. So that's China for you. But if you look at like a Pioneer unit, the same sort of functionality would be like $1,500.
Yeah, it's insane.
So the unit that I have, the Pioneer NEX 8000 or something, that was all the rage. It was the hotness about 3 or 4 years ago. That broke now. That was $1,600 when it was new. And it doesn't have like half the functionality of anything. You have to have like Pioneer only apps. In order for you to have apps, you have to have them installed on your phone, and then you have to physically connect your phone to the thing with like some weird patch cable and whatever.
No way.
And sometimes the phone doesn't work because the phone is too new, and you have to update, and you have to download. Like it's so dumb.
Not once, not never. No way.
It's so dumb. But this, you can actually do a screen, like a mirror screen. So you can, if you want to play a game, you can play a game on that actual screen.
Girl,
but
I want to play PUBG on my car.
Yeah, you can do that.
I want to do that.
Yeah. So I watch my YouTube channel in my car.
That's all you watch.
Not while I'm driving. Everyone.
All you watch is just your YouTube channel.
Okay. So this is gonna get me some flack. Sometimes I watch my own channel. I watch my own channel just to see if the videos hold up, if they're good.
Sure.
Obviously, I watch my videos when they come out, like just to check on stuff. But like every once in a while, I revisit videos and I go, "What am I doing wrong?"
I do the exact same thing.
Okay. But it's not like I'm watching my videos like, I am so good. This is great. Why does it only have this many views? What is wrong with people?
How am I not replacing Matt LeBlanc on Top Gear?
Speaking of Matt LeBlanc on Top Gear, Matt LeBlanc left Top Gear.
Cool.
How about that? No. You know what? We need to talk about this.
I don't care.
Because we are car guys talking. We're talking about car guy stuff.
Okay.
Top Gear is car guy stuff. So we are contractually obligated to talk about this stuff. Matt LeBlanc, I think, he left the show because he said it was too much of a inconvenience for his life. He said, the amount of travel, he was missing out on his. That is a valid concern. However, I think he was the weakest thing in that show.
You are the weakest link. Goodbye.
That was the weakest. That show was the weakest link. I think he was the weakest part of that show, and he didn't. If it was just Rory and Chris Harris, it would have been great. I know you haven't watched the new stuff.
I watched a few episodes back when they had Chris Evans on.
No, that was bad because that's when they had, I think, Shabine Schmitz for like a few things, and then they had him and Matt LeBlanc, and like they were basically just yelling at each other, and it was dumb.
Yeah.
He just Chris Evans, not Captain America Chris Evans, the other one, the Brit. He just shouted a lot, and he didn't really convey that he cared about cars, even though he is a legitimate car guy.
Oh, big time. He's just not a legitimate car host.
Yeah, he's not. I mean, he's not a Clarkson. He tried to be a Clarkson.
Yeah.
And Matt LeBlanc didn't try to be a Clarkson, but he wasn't. I don't really care about him. He is
also a bona fide car guy.
Of course,
but
yeah.
They all are. It's not his gig. This isn't his thing.
Can you, you know who I would love to see in that role? Matt Farah.
Yes, that like trade Matt for Matt, please.
Yeah, Matt Farah and Roy Reed and Chris Harris would be absolutely great.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, if Top Gear wants to listen to this podcast, then they definitely should. I know that
why not have 4 hosts?
Some of you follow me on Twitter. Well, I don't know if they do actually. that may be a not true statement. You should definitely get Matt Farah on there. Who else would make a good host?
Man.
You think Doug DeMuro would be good? I don't think so.
No, he has his own thing, man.
No. Doug DeMuro's he has too many features and too many quirks.
I forgot his name, but the guy that does Car Throttle.
Oh, Alex Kirsten.
He would be great on Top Gear, I think.
Maybe. Because I think he's also part of the internet age. I think so. What I like about Chris Harris is that he's old. Okay, so before I explain this, I have to explain sort of the primer to this. There's new media, which is what we're in right now, which is like the YouTube stuff, and there's also old new media. So this is like YouTube in its infancy, and also going from journalism, from like actual publications, magazines and stuff, and then transitioning into video. But that's also, it comes with a lot of caveats, like Edmunds video, right?
Right.
That's not going to be a YouTube thing. That's going to be an Edmunds or like a Motor Trend or something. So that's like kind of like old new media, and their focus is to go into TV. Their focus is to get that demographic and not necessarily YouTube audience.
Right.
So Chris Harris can toe that, like he can go in between there. So he can go to new media, old new media, all that stuff. And there's also old media, which is just like newspapers and like extra, read all about it. McLaren P1 beats 918. Yeah, let me get that for 25 cents. See.
I'm gonna read this paper at home when I'm listening to some finger snapping ragtime dandies.
Let me see what the Carrera GT does, right? So those are the types of media, and I think that I don't even know who I was talking about anymore. If we're who did you mention?
The Car Throttle guy.
Car Throttle guy. So I think he's more just new media, and you need a little mix of both. I could be this could be way off.
I got one for you.
Who?
Eric Bana.
Nah. I'm gonna say no on that one, because I saw Eric Bana he reminds me of Adam Ferrara, and Adam Ferrara is a car guy, but I don't think that he's primarily a car guy. I think you need somebody that lives and breathes this stuff as a primary purpose, not a
Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise wouldn't be bad. That'd be great, but I think you need somebody with a British accent. Oh, you know what? My friend Alex Goy, he would be absolutely perfect.
What about Alex Roy?
Alex Roy I don't think he'd be good for that. He's good at his other stuff with the JF's team with Matt Farah and Chris Harris. He's great there, but I think that needs more of a wide audience, and also
like one of these that they have their own show, Alex Roy and Goy.
Alex Roy and Goy. That's what's funny. They both so Alex Goy is he lives in the UK and Alex Roy lives in New York. They both have Morgan three-wheelers.
Hey, there you go.
It's insane. They're both great, but Alex Goy I think has that cadence because he has a very he's a British accent, or just as he would say it, he speaks English. He just speaks proper English. So he knows, like every time I've seen him, he went to Geneva. Well, last time I was there, he was there. And he was doing some spot for, I believe it was Carfection or CNET or whatever. And he goes in front of the camera and like, there's a difference between what I do and what he does. He is professional. Like he's on. He knows what he looks like. He knows where he's pointing and he knows everything about the car. Me, there's a lot of ums and uhs and all right, let me break the fourth wall here. And hey, cameraman, how you doing today? Like that's me. That's how I go think because I get super, what am I looking like? Like, oh, do I have broccoli in my teeth? And him, it's just bam, go. And he'd do really well at that. I'd love to see him in a. If any of you look at, if you've seen a Carfection or X Car, he's been on that as well. That's huge YouTube views. Then check that out. Alex Goy is awesome.
You know who I've really been catching up on lately, and I'm really excited to see his new stuff is Ed China.
Ed China, yes. So Ed China started a YouTube channel. I don't know if it's going to end there. I think it's a means to end. I think it's one of those things where he's trying to get a show or got a show picked up or something like that.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna say something unpopular. I didn't really like it.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't really care.
I liked it because he was my favorite part of Wheeler Dealers.
So I've watched the entire new so far. I've watched the new season of Wheel Dealers. Have you seen it?
No.
It's on Amazon.
Oh.
Also, if you're on Motor Trend on Demand, it's also on there.
Okay, cool.
So you can watch it. I pay for Amazon because I wanna support, even though Motor Trend on Demand is supporting. It's not like I'm torrenting this stuff. So I watch these shows as soon as they come out. Dude, it's really good.
Is it?
It's so good.
I'll have to check it out.
So I sort of like Ant Anstead better than Ed China.
I'm gonna have to see the new series to get a proper.
Here's why. At the later seasons of Wheeler Dealers, you started seeing that there was either some scripted drama between Ed and Mike. Not necessarily drama, but it's just like Mike puts on a bunch of stuff to Ed, and Ed's like, he's not very happy about it. And they do the same thing in the new series, but Ant genuinely looks like he loves doing what he does. Like he doesn't look like he.
So okay, here I'm gonna kind of draw a line with Wheeler Dealers.
Mm-hmm.
When they moved to the U.S., I stopped watching.
Why?
Because I liked the original series because it was just about here's how you find a cheap car, here's how you fix it up for real cheap, and here's how you sell it. Boom, done.
But it's the same thing. It's exactly the same format.
Yeah, but the US version has that they had to put that like reality TV stupid drama spin on it.
No. So it wasn't a stupid drama spin. I don't think it was. That is maybe 1% of the show. It's not even that.
Yeah, but it tainted it for me.
I think you're making a big deal out of nothing. It's really not. Like you need to watch the new season. It's very good.
Just like the episode where they did like the 80s BMW 6 series, like that's such a great.
Well, here's what when they first started the Wheeler Dealers,
back when they had like no budget, like they were legitimately doing this for real.
They had no budget, but
but
they also did like really hokey stuff. Like the first,
that was the sign of the times.
They had It wasn't a sign of the times. It was like they just didn't know if the show would take off. So the first season, they had a Porsche 924. They made 2 episodes about it. If you look at that first like 3 seasons, some of them were hard to watch because you had these segments. That was actually more reality TV because they had segments where they talked to the owners of good quality examples, and they go, "If my 924 is half as good as this one, we're gonna be in the money." Like it was literally a time waster. It's just a time filler. They got rid of that, and they just made it an hour instead of. They used to have 2 episodes, so they had a part 1 or part 2.
Yeah.
So. What they did back then, they said we have £1,000 to do it, so we're gonna buy a car for 500. Like they bought a 924, and they ended up like doing like rattle can paint job on the thing, so it looked good enough for the
initial sale.
Not even initial sale. It looked good enough for the camera, and then for the initial sale, they ended up not making any money, and it was like, oh, we made £100, and all right, we made some profit. Like, yeah, but that like took 3 days, like. Like you're 2 guys and you like that took a long time. So with this, it's a little bit, they kind of throw the budget out the window, not out the window, but they have stuff that's like they go chasing the cars instead of chasing the profit. Honestly, after they fix the cars, I don't care anymore. Like I don't care how much they sell it for. I don't care about like afterwards.
I totally do. Like I was hooked from opening credits to closing credits on that show. Like that, no. There was a point in my life where I enjoyed Wheeler Dealers more than I enjoyed Top Gear.
That was the same thing for me. But I think that when you take the ending part is just when they go on the shakedown run and it's both of them in the car and they go, wow, this really shifts fast. And hey, did you fix that exhaust leak? Like, yep, no more blow from that exhaust gasket. Like, okay, so what about that suspension? Like, why don't you try? Wow, it handles like it's on rails. That stuff I could do without. I don't care about that because we know that they fixed everything. And it's very, very rare that something is broken afterwards. They actually did have a mishap once. They had an Amphicar.
Yeah.
Do you remember this?
Yeah, they bought it from here, like this town.
Well, this is the only place where you have Amphicars that aren't rust buckets.
Yeah.
If you go to the UK, all the Amphicars are at the bottom of the English Channel. So if you get an Amphicar, those weren't good cars and they weren't good boats. Mm-mm. So they actually had water, like they did the shakedown thing, and they were like, "All right, let's try it," and then it started sinking. So they had to get like a bilge pump. They had to take it back into the shop and fix some stuff.
Yeah, I remember that.
That's something I actually liked because it was like, oh hey, it's not exactly perfect. They also did a thing where they were trying to restore. I think this was more of an Ed project than it was a Mike project, and it didn't have anything to do with the Wheeler Dealers. They helped some museum restore some. It was like a 1800s car or a 1900 like pre-war, like it was the wooden wheels and stuff.
Oh wow.
And they said, we're gonna do a Dakar rally or something, like some crazy rally across a continent in this car. And all the while, Mike's like, I really don't want to do this. Like, it's kind of nuts. And like, are you sure about this? And it's like, yeah, we'll do it. And in the back of my head, I'm looking at the running time of this. I'm like, this isn't getting done. Like there's too much work here, and there's like too many variables. And invariably, this car broke down, and they said, well, we didn't make it, but we they tied it in a nice bow. Like, well, we didn't make it, but we had fun and blah blah blah. And like, it's, all right, see you guys next time on Wheeler Dealers Tella. So that kind of marked the end for me with Ed. I think Ed's kind of wasn't into it anymore. You can tell that he was getting visibly, like, it was a different demeanor.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Like early episodes Ed versus old, early episodes Ed, he was a puppy. He had nonstop energy.
Wide-eyed,
everything.
Yeah.
But then towards the end, he was just very jaded. Yeah, he kind of you could see he was kind of losing steam, like with every episode.
And this is what I like about Ant, because first of all, I used to watch. I can't remember what the show was, but there was 2 seasons of it. It's with Ant Anstead and another guy, and it's basically like Wheeler Dealers, where they take a car. So they take somebody's car, like somebody has a project and it's gone by the wayside. Life gets in the way, and they do everything to get it to like a concourse level.
Oh, Project Garage. Where they went to someone's house and like did it in their garage.
No.
Oh,
That's something else. That might be A Car Is Born. But there's another one, and it has 2 seasons, and it's very, I think it's For the Love of Cars. That's what it was.
Okay.
And if you guys can, I think it's on Amazon. You should definitely watch it. It's so good. And what they do is, at the end of the build, they let the person drive it around. They said, okay, what you can do is you can either, I think you can keep it, or you can like buy it off of us or something, or you can. I might be butchering this, or we can put it up for auction and then you get the money. So it's always like it goes up for auction. And they have these cars, and they consistently break records at auction. So they had a DeLorean, and they got it like super, super clean, like really, really clean. And I think they brought like $50,000 for a DeLorean. It was insane. And they said, this is the record for a DeLorean, and then it just like broke past that like crazy. These cars really look good. You can tell that they weren't, if they were doing a few Hollywood tricks, then they weren't readily apparent. Mm-hmm. And Anstead was on there, and he was one of the best parts of the show. And that's what I think he brings to Wheeler Dealers, because first of all, he explains things. I think he explains things better than Ed, because he draws out things like when there was a video, a part of the video where he's talking about a wastegate, like how a wastegate works.
Sure.
He draws it out with different colored markers, and he draws it out in a way they go like, oh, that is how a wastegate works. That's really interesting. I didn't know that. And this is what we're going to fix. Here's the thing that we need to fix, and here's what it looks like. Here's a cutaway, and blah blah blah. And the air comes in here. Like it's really good. And one of the main complaints from Ed China when he left Wheeler Dealers, he said that it was like, it was scripted and whatever he wanted to do. It wasn't as good a product as he wanted it to be. And when he left, it turns out it's actually a better product when he's gone.
Oh, wow. And that's funny because like his new YouTube show, while it is good, I found it to be very entertaining. It seemed pretty scripted.
No, it is. So I think he's trying to go for the same thing, but just on his own terms a little bit.
Sure, yeah.
Which is fine. Here's the thing. I don't care about the Volkswagen GTI, like Mark II GTI or something. That car has never been a big deal here. It's been a big deal in Europe because it's like, oh well,
Sure, yeah, but
90 whole horsepower.
But those ITVs sounded incredible.
Sure,
it sounded so good.
Sure, but the fact that they do this and he's basically helping somebody else, and it's not. I'd rather it be a more interesting car.
I guess for me though, like seeing something in one state and then watching it be rebuilt or fixed or repaired into another state, like that's really cathartic for me. I watch videos of just people like detailing cars because I'm just like, yeah, you clean that car, it's real good.
There's a YouTube channel that's called Restore It or something or something like that. And all he does is restore like random things. So he does like a hydraulic jack. He takes everything back to
that was such a good episode.
Yeah, to the bare components, and then he just like sandblasts them and then gets new bearings and stuff.
It's so sad.
Yeah, and it's like it's some old like random hydraulic jack, and like, wow, that looks pretty good.
Oh wow, I want that.
Or like James May, the disassembler.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah, that's great because it's cathartic. But
it's also James May.
Yeah, it's also James May. But like with Ed China, I'm not saying he's a bad presenter. He's a really good presenter.
Yeah.
But I tell you where it lost the plot for me when he was doing the headliner, and I could just imagine myself doing the headliner. I'm like, I don't want to watch this. Like, I don't care because it's going to be really tedious, and the payoff is going to be nothing. Like, I don't care that this headliner's done. Like,
they didn't really focus on it, and then like he just like left and like let the guy do it. It didn't really look that good, but
yeah, it's not because it's not going to. It's because I know when you have a show and it's. There's constraints of time and skill. Like this guy, it's not a seamstress or anything. He doesn't know what he's doing. So it's not going to look all that great. What I loved, like my favorite Wheeler Dealers, one of my favorite Wheeler Dealers episode was a TVR that they had.
Yes.
And the TVR, they said, this looks great. It has low miles and the engine runs great. The needs repair. Like this frame needs replacing, a complete frame.
Yeah.
And they said, we found a frame for like 900 pounds. It's cheap enough. But it's like 100 man hours to replace the frame. And they're like, okay, so all we have to do is replace the frame. And they replaced the entire frame of a car on a fiberglass car. Yeah. And I'm like, this is the most insane thing I've ever seen anybody do. Yep. And this isn't it's very, very technical. They went through all the steps. Dude, that's the stuff that I love. Not like, well, we have to fix the headliner. That's what I love about the new Wheeler Dealers because they have stuff like, we have to, there's like ingenious solutions to things. Like, well, this bolt broke off. So what I'm going to do is instead of, using a lot of heat and trying to, I might melt the metal around it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to try to weld a bolt and then I'm going to do this. And then like, wow, I never thought of it like that. Like, here's how you locate this pin and, make it so you have 100% alignment all the time. And like, wow, that's really good. I never thought of it. Like, that's the kind of stuff that I like.
I'm gonna have to check it out if I ever get free time.
Definitely check it out. I mean, watch it before you go to sleep. It's on Amazon.
I will fall asleep before it's over.
Well, same thing with me. It's a really good way to fall asleep. If you're watching any car build,
nah. If I'm gonna watch something, I want to be 100% present.
No, I usually knock out at the halfway point and then I watch the other half. And I'm surprised at how much I actually watched. Because I go, you do that falling asleep thing, and then you wake up, and then like he's like, "All right, well, we're done with fixing the door panel," and I'm like, "Wait, what'd you do? You weld something? Did you do something?" So yeah, so we've been gushing about car TV shows and whatever for too long. I think we can spill this over into another episode, and we can talk about things we like and things we don't. But if you guys like to contact us, you can do so at iwrencheveryday@gmail.com. Send us questions. We're going to be answering questions in the next podcast as well. And you can do so on Twitter and Instagram at Wrench Every Day. But we will be changing that whenever we do our little logo change to Car Guys. Rebrand to Car Guys Talk. So you can find me at The Real Tavarish. That's Instagram and Twitter. And you can find him at where?
You can find me on Instagram at HeavyMetalFL or on Twitter at 1565. That's the word 15 and the number 65.
Did you have a little lapse in?
No, I just wanted to give that little dramatic pause.
And the number 65. That's right. So until next time, this is me telling you as well as Andrew Howell. I kind of went on my autopilot there. to wrench every day. Life's too short to drive boring cars, and also
Be a talking car guy. You go out there and do some talking.
Do some talking with some other car guys, and that's
Okay, bye.
That's the word. Bye.